Hello and welcome. This is another video for the Goodreads Choice Awards Project Challenge for 2025. Yes, I know it's 2026, but it's for last year's winners. Now you're acting like Cheyenne. This book was not the winner of 2025 Goodreads Choice Awards for a fantasy. No, that was Onyx Storm, but go back in the first one that I explained all the rules, what books I'm going to be doing. Um, Watch that, come back, everything's cool. Now, this is going to be more of a book talk than the Sunrise on the Reaping was, because I have so many thoughts about this book. Oh my gosh. But I'm not going to put it in the book talk necessarily playlist because this is for the Goodreads Choice Awards challenge that I am doing. Now, I already did kind of post the Storygraph review, and you know what? I don't regret it. Do I think I was like I literally just finished it and then I was writing it, so I might have been more dramatic. I have not read it since I posted it, so we'll see what happens. I rated this book 3 stars. I actually rated Fourth Wing 4 stars. I actually did before Fourth Wing compared to this book. Now if you're looking at the channel, you're like, Cheyenne, I don't see Fourth Wing. I read it before I was doing the challenge, not doing this channel as a whole. Um, so yeah. Um, I do want to go back and reread Fourth Wing before I read Onyx Storm. Obviously I'm not reading Onyx Storm for this challenge, but I still want to read Onyx Storm. I'm curious. But I want to read Fourth Wing first because I just prefer that one to this one. And I feel like if I read Fourth Wing after this, it will get me back into the characters. Um, I don't know. Like, that's like my brain. Also, I want to like reread when the dragons bonded. Like, I just want that feel again. And I think that is all we're gonna do for non-spoilies because I'm gonna get into spoilers now. Okay, so there's your spoiler warning. Okay, so one reason why I also want to reread Fourth Wing is I forgot why Xaden and Violet have a mental connection. Like why they can talk to each other in the mind. I forgot. I'm pretty sure it has something to do with their dragons, but like I know whole big dragon is bonded to his dragon, but I forgot why that makes it able for him and her to talk to each other. So I'm like, I know that's going to be explained in Fourth Wing. So I went to that also because I want the dragon claiming scenes. I want them becoming Rydell and Dragon again. Like hee hee ha ha. Let's actually get into this list. Okay. I posted something online, and I also put it in my story graph, which is completely true. Is this a bad time to say I don't like the miscommunication trope? Is this a bad time? I posted that on TikTok, and I was told, oh yeah, like the talk scene comes like chapters later, and all this kind of stuff. And I want to be honest, I don't really like Xaden in this book. I don't. Because, and I made this comment before, chapter 57, which was Xaden is how Dane was in book one. So Xaden, especially part one of book two, is how Dane was in book one. And that's why I was not liking him. I'm over here like, what happened? So I need to read Xaden book one to see if this is the same character or what happened. Like, yes, he's lying to her, and oh my gosh, I don't understand another thing. Why is it so important that he has this mental ability to read intentions? And he's like, oh, If you tell anyone, I'll get executed. Doesn't everyone know about Dane? I'm not even confused about reading this book, but doesn't everyone, at least at that camp, know not to let him touch you or he can read your mind? Or is it just the inner group? And if he, okay, and if Violet was not gonna like say anything about Dane to anyone, who was her childhood best friend, who broke her heart, betrayed her, all this kind of stuff, why is she going to betray you now? Like, it doesn't make sense to me why it's like a, I just want to, like, also Dane making a comment saying like he should have trusted Violet's um basically intuition instead of his dad's. No, that's wrong. That's wrong. It's supposed to be, I think, how I read it, like the perception is like, oh, he's right now for understanding that he should trust Violet. Wrong. 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 He should not have trusted Violet. And he should also not have trusted his dad. Like, oh, I trust my dad when I should have trusted your judgment. No, Dane should have trusted his own judgment. There was no reason for Dane to trust Xaden. There wasn't any. Oh, but he wouldn't have hope. Dane wouldn't have known that. It. Oh, I'm gonna trust Violet. No, 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 no. And I read that. I put the book down, and I was just like, this is literally what got them in this situation to begin with. Him not trusting his own intuition and his own body to trust him, to trust other people, led him to this situation. Because honestly, there was no reason for him not to believe his dad. What, am I not supposed to say that? There was no reason why this guy should have doubted what his dad was saying. Because most people believe their parents. When this whole thing happened, when it was like, oh, I don't want to believe that my mom would hold Xaden in that way. Why not? In book one, I literally was just like, yeah, she probably has been doing bad things. I hold, oh, do you know that's why Xaden has the marks on him? And I went, that makes sense. Because she's a general who is a bad person. She loves her daughters, and even then she disowned her daughters. I am not supposed to believe that she would hold someone that threatens the safety of her daughters, even though he does. Like, I feel like in this logic, where is she? It doesn't exist in this book. Okay, back to Dane. There was no reason for him not to trust his dad. And then when there was reason, and there was proof that he could see, he turned on his dad. But he also was not listening to himself when he can trust Violet. I feel as if we need to remind Violet and all those people, though, not to take drinks, especially that are open, from unknown people, and you watch the bartender make your drinks. I feel as if this is a very common thing that everyone knows, and when she took the drink before, like, at the end of part one, you know, I went, it's poisoned. It's drugged. And what happened, it was drugged. I was like, ooh, heist time. You know, I like the heist. And I went, of course they're going to get it, but of course they're going to get caught, and what happens? Right. My thought is, hey, at least, like, that stuff was supposed to happen to her, maybe not to that degree, but they were going to train her to go through that and not break. So I'm like, so she passed that part of training, right? I did not think that they were going to leave the academy. I didn't. What I thought was going to happen was it was going to be exposed, right? And then too many people see it, so they just like cover it up and being like, oh my gosh, she went off the deep end. That's what I thought was going to happen. Obviously, that didn't happen. I knew when all that was happening to her, I was like, okay, so she has two dragons. She has this love interest that has this other dragon who's made into a whole dragon. Um, so they're gonna come for her. Plus, she has also like at no point did I think that she was not gonna be rescued because I'm like, isn't that the whole point of book one, which is that she was insanely protected because she has not one but two dragons, and the first dragon, which I think the second dragon because you know, okay, but the big dragon that gives her the lightning signet, that dragon is mated to the other dragon, who's the dragon for Zayden. And that was the whole reason why he had to protect her, or at least one of them, because obviously now we know about the deal. But like that was like one of the big things in book one. And now we're supposed to believe. Now I can understand that that was happening for 5 days. I am sure that the logic was not there because I don't even think I could have held up with 1 day. Right. So that's what's not trying to be judgment on her end. I'm saying if we were meant to, if we were supposed to believe that they would not come, void of her thinking about it. I don't know. I don't know if we were supposed to keep that in mind and just watch this person deteriorate. But that's what I did because I was like, there is no way. There is no way. Um, One of my notes is specifically fuck Dane. And I mean that. That is what I kept on saying. Every time Dane popped up with book one, I was like, because I don't like him. I don't like well, I like him now that he's had character arc and character growth. But book one, I didn't like him. So why am I now getting this love interest that's acting like Dane in book one? When every single time that Dane would pop up, and now he's acting exactly like it, and I don't want to hear anything persona on TikTok, which is like, oh, little 21 to 20, like, what? I don't care how old they are. I don't like the miscommunication trope. And honestly, I feel like using age as well, actually, they're young, so it, like, using age as an excuse does not excuse the behavior in this relationship. I feel that some people are justifying bad behavior in relationships and saying, well, they're young, as if young people who are adults can't or should not be able to recognize when they are being manipulated and borderline abusive. Like, okay, so we're justifying it because they're young? Or are we justifying it because people like these characters? Because part one, I did not like him at all because so we should be okay with how Dane is treating her in book one because he is right around, like, he's in between their ages, so his behavior should be swept on the rug. Chapter 18, I said this thing, and I mean this. And this is what I mean by part one, I do not like him. Is everyone wanting to control her? And I literally wrote down, I also did say this out loud. I said, she's a Nepo baby, let her Nepo baby. And that should be very clear what I mean by that. Like, okay, so like we didn't want to trust her because her connections and stuff like that. But now that she's actually using her connections, it's too dangerous. And she has these connections. Mutual destruction is happening between them. That doesn't. I cannot get behind a character who in part two completely changes as oh my gosh. And that is one of the things that is so frustrating to me. Okay, so basically we have a character in part one who is controlling his girlfriend. Okay, actually, hold on. I'm gonna describe it to you. Violet. The information she is getting about her brother, her livelihood because her life is on the line, her career, all that's being held from her, right? And she does not also have freedom of movement because, like, her school is restricting her, sure, but she can't even go on a run without his whole boyfriend's friends following her. Oh, but she was going on a rock independent. And she could be lying. This entire friend group and him has been lying to her from the very jump. In this book, he says he's going to continue to lie to her in part one. It is literally so frustrating because then she is so, like, she thinks so much, like, he is not going to tell her the truth, and, like, she's questioning everything. Being really insecure, and that's not, like, me trying to shame her. She is very insecure in this book because she's in a relationship that does not secure her. We are judging people for being insecure and being insecure in a relationship as if they are not being secure. And it's like, okay, well, why are you insecure? That's because the person that they are with is not supporting them. They do not feel supported and secure in their relationship. I say break up then. Yes, I think they should break up. At least in this book, they should break up. Because what relationship is happening? None. Physical. That is it. There was nothing. And he says, all you had to do was ask. She did. She did. He lied. She asked. He lied. And then he said, I'm going to continue to lie to you. Oh, oh my gosh, this literally got to me. Being like, I would never lie to you about something that will, like, what, influence or be, he won't lie to her about something that's going to make her change her mind. Or, like, influence the way that she does it. Chapter 57, what was that? Literally, he is a liar. Oh my gosh. She literally changed her mind about being in a relationship, and well, yes, they're still together, and she still loves him. Like, I don't know. Maybe that is something that can influence the way that she makes decisions. So, and then we have part two, which is him just calling all this stuff out, like calling her insecure, basically, which she is. I like Kat. You know why? Because Kat calls her out. Is she mean? Yes, she is. But at least Kat's like, you're acting, like, basically she calls her pathetic. And you know what? She is an ungrounded person who needs to ground herself, but is surrounded by people she cannot trust. Right? I think her and Kat can be best friends, if not from the circumstances. Yeah. Also, what would happen if Zayden didn't use his second signet? Like, is he still a good fighter? I'm just saying, if you can't predict people's intentions, is he still a good fighter? Um, Literally, I liked the whole, like, them looking into the library spot. I thought that was very beautiful. It honors her father. I'm like, this is very pretty. And yet, it's like, why would you? She's not involving herself in the revolution. She's reading. He he makes me upset. Them being jealous. Oh, that was this coming off, by the way. Sorry. Him being jealous and Hole being jealous. I'm like, okay, so we should not take these people into safety. Train them. Train beside them. Which now we know that they had to do that because our MC is jealous because her boyfriend refused to be a grounded, stable person. I like Kat because she's honest. She's brutal. And she's like, yeah, I'm here for the crown. I'm not here for the man. I'm here for his crown. And of course he's a king. Oh, what, the prince? Whatever. Of course. You had to add that in there. And I was like, that is respectable. I feel as if we were given a respectable person because she grew up in the, like, she's noble. And honestly, it's like when a Nepo baby meets true nepotism, aka nobility. That is literally this book. She is so insecure because now she has to meet someone who's a bit nepo baby. Why I say that is nepotism, comes with from the Pope, Italian, all this kind of stuff. So people becoming bishops and then the archbishops and popes and all this kind of whatever, right? So she is a general's daughter. That is why she is so good at everything she does, right? She meets someone who has had more training than her, who is simply also just better. Also, it's just like, why are we so jealous here? Like, she literally was, if I could be mistaken here, which is why I also want to read Fourth Wing. Wasn't she floating with Liam this whole time? We're not in Fourth Wing. I don't know. And the whole thing with Dane, so it's just like, okay, granted she was not betrothed to either of them, so I think there was a little bit of a difference there. Um, but oh my gosh, literally them deciding to choose what she does with her career. Oh my gosh, Dane and Zayden both, and her literally making the comment of like, um, he would let me do that, like like the second tail pet type thing with the Griffins. He would let me do it, and that's why I love him. He wouldn't control your actions. Actually, yes, he would. Yes, he would, because we have a whole part one of him like controlling her actions. Yes, yes. The only reason why he wouldn't be successful is because she has a dragon. Also, Trouble in Paradise, so the dragons. Oh my gosh, listen, I love the dragons. I honestly would prefer maybe a book, but like from the mind of the dragons. Like I know it's from her point of view, and then we have Zane at the end. But what if we have like a point of view of like the dragons? 220 reference. Magic is real. Yes, your dreams are important. She's having these reoccurring dreams. Magic is real. Dreams are important. Even dreams right now. Dreams. Your dreams could be important. Your brain trying to talk to you and give you a space where you feel safe. Or so for her to have these dreams, and I'm just like, Taryn, magic is real. Her dreams are your like I over here like he should be demanding her dreams, or at least like watching them. It turns out, of course, Zayden's having similar dreams. Why do they want her? Like, I know she's our main character. She's super special with this whole, like, I don't know. I feel like everyone wanting her is just like okay, but why is she so important? It cannot simply be because she has two dragons. It has to be because uh, her second dragon or her fourth dragon is the seventh thing, um, all this kind of stuff in her own den. That would be a lot. That's a lot for a team. That's a lot for anyone. Like I'm imagining Starstruck Odyssey, Emily Oxford's character, but being like it's a lot for me thinking. Oh, and like the whole thing is like it's a lot being the only one, right? So I'm like That's a lot. That's really deep. I was confused why the mom had to die. After a while, like after she explained it again, I understood. But in the moment, I'm like, what's happening here? Can't Arcana just like that was my mind. Can't she do that? And I guess not. It just needed to be kickstarted. Um, when Jack showed up, I'm like, why should I be afraid of him? Why should I be afraid of him? Book one, why should I be afraid of him? What I was thinking is I didn't see like it was actually going to be seven dragons. I literally thought it was blood magic because that's what it was said was blood magic. And so I was like, oh, six of the most powerful um riders or like all this kind of stuff, right? In Shield, there has to be something important here. I thought the people that they chose were just incorrect. My idea was that it was going to be Violet, they like their mom. I think that's what mom's name. Zayden, Kat, um, because I didn't realize at the time that it was Griffins and they're totally different. And then Dane, and then the Prince. I thought that was the six. But I really thought that it was going to be up to the mom and the daughter. Why? Blood magic. Mother, daughter. Mother, daughter. I thought that was gonna be significant. Mother, daughter. Talk about, like, I also kind of did get Hyperlaria vibes. During this book, I did get House of the Dragon vibes. Um, but that's okay. I think it's just because, blood magic with dragons. Okay. I also wonder how effective it was for them to be at Rowden's house. They just continued to long. Yeah, two professors were really important, but she only had one of them teaching her. So really the only thing that had to change was the person that was teaching her Signet. Yes, the information was different, but like I feel like they could have done something at the college. Like I feel like that I don't think we needed a scene change. Granted, the whole thing with the Griffins like that was necessary, so I can see that's why. But I don't know. They ended up going back there anyways. Um, I thought when Taryn had Solace. I was just thinking, do it, do it, because I literally was like, how many people and Tara not doing this is going to halt. How many people are going to be unaligned or worse because Tara did not end this dragon? And look what happened. And look what happened. I'm not wrong on that. He should have. But the rules, and you know what? He still, like, he left it basically up to a teenager. Did she do it? Yes. Did she get in trouble? No. Right? So, I'm just like, we literally could have had so much not happen if Taryn just, including to his own rival, like that has to haunt him. Um, because again, he left it basically up to a teenager. I mean, ahead of her own den, but like still. The last thing I really have is the stuff for the scribes. Why are they being disrespected in this book? You expect me to believe that there was only one scribe that knows the language in the end. I understand that maybe only her and Dane could really understand the first journal because they didn't really have any scribes with them, but they were at the academy. Excuse me, where are the scribes? Do they know this language? If so, get here and translate this piece of work. We couldn't trust that. I don't care at this point. The infiltrate and other writers, all that kind of stuff, right, are side by side, including with the Griffins. You have to have trust in the situation. At this point, you're all on the same side. So yes, get those scribes, get them sitting down, have them translate the piece of work. Have multiple people, same thing. It would have been faster, and maybe it could have, how do we say it? Verified those translations. And we only have two of them in there? Go back into those archives. We have the prints. Can they be shut down? Legitimately. Right. So my brain is, why are we disrespecting them? Because that's what this is. That's what this is. The scribes are nowhere there. They're not doing scribe stuff. So where are they? I don't know where they are. Why can't we now go in the library and figure out more ways to do something? It's like the whole heist in the first part of the book didn't really mean anything. Truly, because you're telling me there was only 2 books in that entire archive that would have helped them. And there was only one person out of all the scribes that could have known what that said. Interesting. It's like disrespect even though the scribes are the people who systematically took over the entire government because you didn't know your own history. Because they decided what you can and cannot know. As if censorship and control of information is not a key thing here. And what are you going to do? You're going to disrespect them by saying, like, basically, or the idea that they cannot be useful here, have them sit down, translate. Entire archive. Open it up. Have that prints. Take them one by one and look at the entire thing. Oh, but they decided to move. I do not care what they decided to do. Because my stance is they should have had every scribe in there figuring out some way to do it. Protect the information, and they would not have had to if they would have figured it out sooner because they had more scribes on there. Last thing. I don't understand why Mira was robbed of that ending. Because why is it that Brennan, whatever his name is, why was he there when the mom died? But Mira was not. The mother's whole thing was that she wanted to protect her daughters. Daughters. And then, yes, when she realized that her son was alive, she changed it to children. Yes, I see that. I understand that. What I am saying, book 1 and book 2, she does what she can, and then we are told that that is exactly her entire motivation. She does things to protect her kids, specifically her daughters. Her and Mira have a tumultuous relationship, and Mira did not even get to say goodbye to her mother. Mira was potentially not even a thought in any of their heads. Maybe we can say because we were not in her mom's head that she was thinking of all 3 of her kids, but we won't know that. What I am curious, and I think that this is going to be important potentially, but I want to know the relationship between Dragon, Rydell, and Rydell and their kids, right? Because obviously Rydell emotional investment with their kids. This dragon agreed to do what they had to do. So I'm curious on that one as well. So those are my thoughts and my rants on Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. 3 stars. I know I complained a lot, but listen, I complain because I love. I hope that you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching this, and goodbye.